presence of single-player campaigns in predominantly multiplayer played games such as Call of Duty have been sort of not a bone of contention, but just like a, who is this for?
Yeah.
They obviously throw a ton of money at it. It was announced that Black Ops 3, which is coming to obviously current gen and PC, is also going to come to last gen, and on last gen it's only going to be multiplayer. So if you have a PS3 and an Xbox 360 and you are a fan of the single player experience of Call of Duty, sorry, that's it. You don't get it.
Yeah, they're basically saying that if you want to play single player, you have to catch up with the times and buy a new console, which is like a little unfair. I've always been asking for a sort of split version of these two games where I can buy the single player and kind of run through it in a couple hours and then delete it. Instead of spending $60 on a game that I'm not really going to play, because I'm not really big on a lot of online multiplayer.
This isn't like the only time we've seen this either. Obviously, Rainbow Six Siege,
Yep.
also multiplayer only. Star Wars Battlefront,
Multiplayer only.
that's a big thing
Yeah.
too. Then of course there is, what's the other, there's Titanfall. Titanfall, they were like, actually we're crafting a narrative that's woven into the multiplayer experience so that it feels like you're part, and it's like, you don't have that. It's just a multiplayer game. Which is okay, but you kind of have to be upfront about that, I feel like. We're just showing, this is the future is black again.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of with you on this. I grew up playing single player games with friends, like with people in the same room, like because I feel like we're at this point in time where video games can contend movies in terms of cinematic scope, in terms of story, voice acting, and like I think it's kind of a waste to get voice actors to come in to just go like reloading, flank left. Like you get famous professional voice actors and you come in and they just yell sound effects you would hear from two-thirds into a military movie. I feel like it's a huge missed opportunity. We build these fantastic engines with some of the most beautiful graphics in the world. We create all these assets and they aren't used for anything very compelling outside of running around in circles and killing people. I know a lot of people enjoy that loop, right? I'm not putting you down for that. I think that's totally fine.
I think it was a couple years ago, Kotaku did a thing where they reached out to a bunch of indie developers, and they were like, "How would you make a Call of Duty game?" And of course, it's kind of troll bait, kind of just riling up the Call of Duty crowd because they don't want anything like that to happen.
Right.
But one really stuck with me. I can't remember whose idea this was, but it was like a Call of Duty game that's where you play as a war photographer. So you're like in the midst of a huge, giant, massive firefight, but you don't have a gun, you have a camera. So it's sort of a stealth game, but it's like really gory, messed up Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, I was about to say,
right?
I love that.
And we've seen stuff like that, like I don't know, what is it, like Far Cry has a camera, you sometimes take pictures in there.
So here's what I want though, right? I want stuff like that to exist alongside the regular multiplayer Call of Duty that comes out every single year, that people love and enjoy. I don't want to take that from people. That's the thing. Like, I feel like on our side of predominantly enjoying single player, things are getting taken from us, right? Like Star Wars Battlefront, it is gorgeous looking, and we're going to play it for a few days, and then we're going to be like, well, I didn't get all the perks, or I didn't upgrade as fast as everybody else. Everyone's beating me. But in terms of taking that game and building an awesome single player out of it, it's not going to happen. Same with Rainbow Six. Like, I love how that game looks. It's gorgeous. Like the idea of like raiding in one of those houses for the first time and having a story behind it. Like you need to extract
I would just be cool if they just opened it up for modding and made it so that people are making like weird sitcom games where you're just like the SWAT team family.
Sure,
it's like,
something, anything but
can
nothing.
Somebody do that, like the Rainbow Six family, and it's like the Partridge family, but they live in this house and they're constantly blowing it up with drywall grenades.
See, that's already more story than is going into most multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Also, it's kind of ironic that it's like a Tom Clancy property who was a writer of books, which are these weird linear narrative experiences that people used to. Anyway.
Yeah, like what's your favorite multiplayer book?